Money making money making money.
Come on, you gotta tell me, how is this even possible?
It's easy. 1, you take your money and you put it in this secret spot. 2, you let that money grow with compound interest. 3, then you find a place for that money to go where it can work for you. 4, and then every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern, you join me for a wealth webinar.
I'll do it.
It's free. Plus, if you join me now, you'll get my free ebook that teaches you to get all the money back for every car you buy, drive, and own. So take advantage of this opportunity and I'll see you there.
Hey, are you ready to take control of your financial future? Welcome to Private Money Club. Private Money Club is the ultimate online platform connecting real estate entrepreneurs with private money lenders just like you. Whether you're looking to fund your next deal or lend money to grow your wealth, Private Money Club is your go-to resource. You can post deals, find funding, connect with other like-minded professionals. It's just a community. It's a community that you need to plug into. If you're new to the game, no problem. Our Learn platform and our weekly coaching webinars and our on-demand resources are here to guide you every step of the way. Join a thriving network of real estate experts who are already making an impact, and they're waiting to partner with you. So Private Money Club gives you the tools, the training, the connections, and everything you need to achieve your financial goals. So why don't you start now by going to privatemoneyclub.com. We'll see you inside. Hey, you need to become your own bank. And it's as simple as changing one thing, and that is where your money goes first. I mean, think about it. Household debts in this country are at all-time highs. You got tons of market volatility. You got the potential for Social Security running out of money. You've got global uncertainty, political divide, and you have to figure out where you're going to put your hard-earned savings. I mean, this is one of those times in history where the rich are getting richer, and it is time to learn the secrets of the wealthy. But here's the good news. Every single Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I put on a free webinar where I teach you how to take back control of your money by teaching you how to become your own bank. So click the link below and let's get started. So let's go into the app, because the app was created after a dating site, believe it or not. So people with money and people that need money. Phone, swipe left. Ooh, I like that one. Swipe right. You want to go on. If you got money, you want to swipe left through all the deals. When you find one you like, boom, you're connected. How much more difficult does this really need to be? This isn't rocket science. They want you to think it is because they want control of your money. It is time to take back control of our money. I want to invite you to a free interactive webinar that we're doing to teach you how to get prepared for what's about to happen and how you can grow, preserve, and protect your wealth and get it ready for a recession or maybe the next Great Depression. So all I need you to do is click the link below. You're not going to want to miss this with all this stuff going on. Are you sick of having your money lying around not doing anything? Well, we've got the solution for you. PrivateMoneyClub.com. Back to you, Chris. So that's what it is. Private Money Club was created for you and for all of us. So I've got something special. Since you're here, you're listening to us talk to you about the infinite banking concept, I wanted to make an offer. Private Money Club is something that will benefit each of you, but we've got what's called the Accelerator. The Private Money Club Accelerator is a coaching program that takes together the knowledge that you'll need to be your own bank and puts it together with the opportunities in Private Money Club so that now you learn and apply the knowledge. Check it out. We got a very special offer for you to be part of the next Accelerator coaching program and get you into Private Money Club so your money starts working for you.
Hey everybody, it's Buff Finance Guy here, ready to show you how to make some serious gains. But not only in the gym, with your wallet too. Most people put their money in the bank doing absolutely nothing for them. But I'm gonna show you how it doesn't have to be that way. So take Andrew here. His money has just been sitting lazy in the bank. But all he has to do is change one thing, and that's where the money goes first, and everything changes. Just change where your money goes first, silly.
Wait, just one change?
Yeah, that's it. Instead of sending it to the bank, you send it to your very own banking system. Your money can grow and get stronger, just like me.
It's time for Money School TV. You heard it straight from the horse's mouth.
He's been on the fence to come to PMC Money Take. I'm telling you right now, you're missing out on a treat.
This is the ultimate watering hole for lenders and borrowers.
If you've got decent deals, you'll find the funding for it.
The networking here has been fantastic.
Absolutely phenomenal.
Tremendously beneficial.
Oh my gosh, so many people to network with.
First day, I probably met 5 or 6 people. They show me ideas, I show them ideas. We're actually on stage about 20 minutes ago, and since then, I've already had about 20 people reach out.
There are several people that I probably will be doing business with.
I have like 15 private lenders ready to fund my deals. The people here are amazing and so welcoming.
You walk in, everyone greets you right away. No one is a stranger.
It's just an amazing and comfortable place to be.
There's so much stuff that I've been able to learn that I didn't know. I've had aha moments over and over again.
They talked about normal rates of return, not 6%, we're talking about 10%, but in a way that's ethically sound and stable. It's full disclosure, but helps walk you through everything. They even talk about it on stage of like, we've already made the mistakes, so here we are, and we're teaching you to not make the same mistakes. You get to learn from us, you get to just follow our direction and just see what you can do. I've gotten great things out of the virtual events, but there's no comparison to actually coming here, experiencing the energy, and getting to meet all of the people. Everyone is here looking to grow in some capacity. Being in this environment, it allows you to feed on that and foster that.
During the event, they had a lender-borrower meet and greet, which is...
Oh, shit.
What's up, Chris? I'm just restarting the timer so we start on time. Here we go, 10 minutes.
Oh, got it.
10 minutes.
Money making money making money.
Come on, you gotta tell me, how is this even possible?
It's easy. 1, you take your money and you put it in this secret spot. 2, you let that money grow with compound interest. 3, then you find a place for that money to go where it can work for you. 4, and then every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern, you join me for a wealth webinar.
I'll do it.
It's free. Plus, if you join me now, you'll get my free ebook that teaches you to get all the money back for every car you buy, drive, and own. So take advantage of this opportunity, and I'll see you there.
Hey, are you ready to take control of your financial future? Welcome to Private Money Club. Private Money Club is the ultimate online platform connecting real estate entrepreneurs with private money lenders just like you. Whether you're looking to fund your next deal or lend money to grow your wealth, Private Money Club is your go-to resource. You can post deals, find funding, connect with other like-minded professionals. It's just a community. It's a community that you need to plug into. If you're new to the game, no problem. Our Learn platform and our weekly coaching webinars and our on-demand resources are here to guide you every step of the way. Join a thriving network of real estate experts who are already making an impact, and they're waiting to partner with you. So Private Money Club gives you the tools, the training, the connections, and everything you need to achieve your financial goals. So why don't you start now by going to privatemoneyclub.com. We'll see you inside. Hey, you need to become your own bank. And it's as simple as changing one thing, and that is where your money goes first. I mean, think about it. Household debts in this country are at all-time highs. You got tons of market volatility. You got the potential for Social Security running out of money. You've got global uncertainty, political divide, and you have to figure out where you're going to put your hard-earned savings. I mean, this is one of those times in history where the rich are getting richer, and it is time to learn the secrets of the wealthy. But here's the good news. Every single Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I put on a free webinar where I teach you how to take back control of your money by teaching you how to become your own bank. So click the link below and let's get started.
So let's go into the app, because the app was created after a dating site, believe it or not. So people with money and people that need money. Phone, swipe left. Swipe left. Ooh, I like that one. Swipe right. You want to go on. If you got money, you want to swipe left through all the deals. When you find one you like, boom, you're connected. How much more difficult does this really need to be? This isn't rocket science. They want you to think it is because they want control of your money. It is time to take back control of our money. I want to invite you to a free interactive webinar that we're doing to teach you how to get prepared for what's about to happen and how you can grow, preserve, and protect your wealth and get it ready for a recession or maybe the next Great Depression. So all I need you to do is click the link below. You're not going to want to miss this with all this stuff going on. Are you sick of having your money lying around not doing anything? Well, we've got the solution for you. PrivateMoneyClub.com. Back to you, Chris. So that's what it is. Private Money Club was created for you and for all of us. So I've got something special. Since you're here, you're listening to us talk to you about the infinite banking concept, I wanted to make an offer. Private Money Club is something that will benefit each of you, but we've got what's called the Accelerator. The Private Money Club Accelerator is a coaching program that takes together the knowledge that you'll need to be your own bank and puts it together with the opportunities in Private Money Club so that now you learn and apply the knowledge. Check it out. We got a very special offer for you to be part of the next Accelerator coaching program and get you into Private Money Club so your money starts working for you.
Hey everybody, it's Buff Finance Guy here, ready to show you how to make some serious gains. But not only in the gym, with your wallet too. Most people put their money in the bank doing absolutely nothing for them. But I'm gonna show you how it doesn't have to be that way. So take Andrew here. His money has just been sitting lazy in the bank. But all he has to do is change one thing, and that's where the money goes first, and everything changes. Just change where your money goes first, silly.
Wait, just one change?
Yeah, that's it. Instead of sending it to the bank, you send it to your very own banking system. Your money can grow and get stronger, just like me.
It's time for Money School TV. You heard it straight from the horse's mouth.
You've been on the fence to come to PMC Money Take. I'm telling you right now, you're missing out on a treat.
This is the ultimate watering hole for lenders and borrowers.
If you've got decent deals, you'll find the funding for it.
The networking here has been fantastic.
Absolutely phenomenal.
Tremendously beneficial.
Oh my gosh, so many people to network with.
First day, I probably met 5 or 6 people. They show me ideas, I show them ideas. We're actually on stage about 20 minutes ago, and since then, I've already had about 20 people reach out.
There are several people that I probably will be doing business with.
I have like 15 private lenders ready to fund my deals. The people here are amazing and so welcoming.
You walk in, everyone greets you right away. No one is a stranger.
It's just an amazing and comfortable place to be.
There's so much stuff that I've been able to learn that I didn't know. I've had aha moments over and over again.
They talked about normal rates of return, not 6%, we're talking about 10%, but in a way that's ethically sound and stable. It's full disclosure, but helps walk you through everything.
They even talk about it on stage of like, we've already made the mistakes, so here we are, and we're teaching you to not make the same mistakes. You get to learn from us, you get to just follow our direction and just see what you can do. I've gotten great things out of the virtual events, but there's no comparison to actually coming here, experiencing the energy, and getting to meet all of the people.
Everyone is here looking to grow in some capacity. Being in this environment, it allows you to feed on that and foster that.
During the event, they had a lender-borrower meet and greet, which is pretty cool.
It's different when you can spend some time, have a meal together, hang out, joke around. The people are just a blast.
It's so much fun.
The community of the Money Tank PMC, the whole crew with Chris, Stephen, Jonah, everybody, and Joe, they've all helped me out. It's been changing my life.
You're gonna learn something, you're gonna meet someone, and it's definitely gonna make a big difference in your business. Not by a little bit, but by a lot.
I mean, you could stay stuck thinking you can do it on your own. There's a lot of people that I talk to, their issue, and then they come here, and I talk to them a year later, and they've grown so much just by coming to this event.
Started $15,000 in credit card debt. As of today, I have $550,000 out in private lending. That's what this teaches you. I tell people all the time, you have to get in the room to be around the like-minded people.
Go. It's worth it.
Just come. Do it for yourself. Do it for your business.
Take action. You got to do it.
Come to the event. You don't want to miss it.
Well, the biggest thing I hope that people get is something that they can actually apply in their lives. You know, that's the biggest thing for any of these events that we want. We want people to leave here not just riled up, not just excited, but actually going out and doing something that'll put them in a better financial situation, help their family. And for the speakers, my goal is that they go out and they impact the audience and bring something the audience never had exposure to that allows them to then fill in that piece that they're looking for.
I'm going to be talking about more lease options. I'm going to be talking about equity shares. I'm going to be talking about a bunch of fun stuff today. Because again, I'm not here to teach about how to do those deals. I'm here to teach about how to invest in those deals.
Filled with individuals that are like-minded, that are at the top of their craft, they're at the top of their game. And for anybody that's an attendee, it's just a mind-blowing experience.
It's almost going to be hard to speak anywhere else but here because it was such a great experience. I felt like, I don't know. It was amazing. Nothing less than amazing, literally.
At the PMC Money Tank event, which is an epic event that we're putting together that does one thing and one thing only, makes everybody money. It brings people with money together with people that need money. It's like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. You just smash them together and everybody wins.
Wednesday, 10:30 Eastern Standard Time. Going live!
All right, we're back at it, folks. Another What the F Happened. And we got a lot of stuff today. We got a brand new format thanks to our trusted Jordan Wolf coming through. This is pretty awesome. So we got a lot of really important stuff. The format's changed, but the chaos, the nonsense, that has not. So this show's all about the news, but the news you don't hear. And what we do is we rant, we rave, and we will argue about these points. So let's dive right in. I'm joined here with my trusted co-host, Mr. Stephen Nagy. What's happening down there in Florida?
Hey, good morning, Chris. Just peak summertime down here in South Florida. Nice and warm and humid with afternoon thunderstorms, but it's a beautiful thing. All is well in the universe, except the news. The news just seems to get worse and worse every week. I don't even know how that's possible anymore, but we're going to dive into it today. I love the new format. So yeah, again, shout out to our director of video and editing and content, Mr. Jordan Wolf, for putting together a really cool program guide for us. And it's just amazing what we're doing right now with technology. I'm sure a lot of you also are using AI, ChatGPT, Claude Cowork, and the rest of it to build. Some of the custom stuff we're building right now, it's mind-blowing, Chris. And I know we're going to talk a little bit about AI as well this morning. But yeah, man, looking forward to diving into it all.
Yeah, I think we should be talking about AI vampires because they're real, man. We now have proof that vampires exist. We actually spoke to one yesterday. Now, he wasn't in the office because we don't want to bring any vampires in here, but he was on a Zoom call. So we're going to talk a little bit about AI vampires and all this stuff. But let's, Stephen, let's dive right into, what do you say, the economy. Let's hit that first. Oh, this is a slippery slope. I sometimes don't even want to report on this because it's like a ping pong, beep, beep, beep. It goes up, down, up, down. But jobs are one of the most important things. When you look at the economy, it's kind of a three-legged stool. Jobs are the last leg that's still standing. And some would argue that, with the earnings that are coming out, but the earnings are really concentrated to a select number of companies that are blowouts. And we'll cover that when we kind of get to that. But here's the July jobs report. It wasn't good. And actually last week you heard a little bit about like what that did to the market. You probably saw it if you were watching, but 23,000 jobs were shed in the July report, which missed the forecast by 80 to 95,000 jobs. Now, here's how they do that. So when you look at the jobs report, you got to kind of take it with a grain of salt, because they always revise it, just like they did in May and June. May and June, they revise the numbers to basically, because they come out and they say, hey, here's what we're hoping for. The number comes out, they revise down. Okay, that's just how they do it. But everything in this jobs report and the prior jobs report confirms that it's a slowdown. But, when you go left or right, you get two different sides of the story. One is saying, that the tariffs, the inflation, and all these things are slowing the economy down. And on the Trump, the right, they're saying, oh no, this is just a temporary thing, blah, blah, blah. And there's also a lot of talk about people just are leaving the workforce. And, you can't disagree with that. We see that a lot. We have a lot of clients that are just like, I'm out, I'm retiring, I'm done, I'm out of the workforce. So there is that factor that needs to be put in there. But, when you're looking at it, you got two different sides and two different views, but you really just kind of have to have a central, right in the middle viewpoint. And you can't argue that. We are slowing down. Jobs are slowing down. Now, how much of that is AI? How much of that is AI replacing people? How much of that is actually the economy slowing? So I can speak firsthand as a business owner of many businesses. We see it. It's definitely slowing. There's a lot of fear out there. There's debt like you can't even imagine. I mean, we do a lot of work paying debts off for clients and showing them systems that pay their debt off in a fraction of the time. And I can't believe how many people are literally suffering, because that's the only word I can use for it, Stephen, with just massive amounts of debt. So anything you have to say on this topic of jobs?
No, it's like you said. I mean, and they're always revising it. It's always changing. I mean, you look at, they release one jobs report and, it's one number, and then they revise it up or down a few months later. We see it happen all the time. But no, I think we're finally starting to see, reality hitting a little bit. I mean, people are struggling, and jobs is a big part of that. So it's something to keep an eye on. I mean, it's tied very closely to CPI, inflation, which they just released the new July inflation report this morning, I believe. So we talked a little bit about that too. Consumer prices rose, and this is breaking news. I don't even think it was on the agenda, Chris, but it goes right along with jobs in the U.S. economy. So I'll just pull it up. But, consumer prices rose 0.1% in July as expected, putting the annual rate at 3.4%. So, this number right here is why Kevin Warsh and the Federal Reserve are deciding not to make rate cuts, why they're keeping the rates level right now. And they're hinting at possible rate increases towards the end of the year, because remember, target inflation for the Fed is 2% annual. So we're at, almost 150% of that number, which is, way too high. So, this along with these jobs reports, I mean, it's kind of inflation's going up, jobs are going down. It's putting the Fed in a very, very, very difficult position, Chris.
Yeah, I certainly don't envy anyone in the Fed, especially Warsh, because it's like a tightrope walk, but you don't get the pole. And if you get it wrong, you die. That's kind of how I look at it. And, a couple of people over in the chat, and we always love to call everybody out in the chat and look at your comments. So please, whether you're coming in from Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, or any of the other platforms that we stream this on, make sure you comment, make sure you let us know if you're having any issues with things. Because one person said, hey, I usually watch this show, the WTF, on YouTube, but I haven't been able to find it. Stephen, can you just tell them again where they can find it on YouTube?
Yeah. When you're on YouTube, if you subscribe to the channel, hit the little notification bell, that'll alert you when we are live. The recordings should be popping up on there, Chris. But
don't they show up in the Private Money Club YouTube channel? I can confirm where they're at. I don't think they go to the Chris Naugle YouTube channel. Lynn, can you confirm where you're getting the recordings? I think that would be important so that we can kind of make sure everybody knows where to go to get these recordings. We do put them up, but I'm pretty sure they don't. If they do go on the YouTube channel for the Chris Naugle, they're not on the main channel. They're going to be in one of the subcategories. But we'll wait to see what Lynn says. Sorry, I don't know that. I know the team's always moving things around and making room for more YouTube content, because we do one episode a day, and it's a daunting task. And I also want to point out Jim Collins just a faithful listener of this show and been around our campfire for a long time. He said, red team, blue team job numbers always revised down, almost like they lie for the PR boost of headlines. I'll put it up there so you can all see it. Headline boost of headlines, and then the correction doesn't really get much notice. It is funny how they do that. And yeah, it doesn't matter, it's not a left or right thing. It's just like they put it in there, it's a shock and awe, and then you never hear about the revisions. And I guess there's only so many headlines you can kind of put out there. And then Jim also commented on the inflation. 3.4% inflation rate is an outright lie. And I think if any of you are going to the grocery store or going anywhere, buying anything, you can see that, boy, oh boy, it doesn't seem like inflation is correct.
Yeah, let me hit on that a little bit more, Chris, because he's absolutely right. I mean, when we did dive down and look at the actual numbers a little bit closer, I mean, the overall month-to-month increase, 0.1%, putting annual at 3.4%. But, when you kind of dive down and look at some of the actual numbers, I mean, energy prices dropped 1.5%, but, energy and especially gas keeps bouncing up, and down and up and down. And so it's kind of really throwing things for a loop. I mean, still the sector saw an annual increase of 14.7%. So, we see these smaller month over month numbers, or that 3.2, but remember also over the last 5 years, cumulatively, I mean, we're pushing about 30% inflation, over the last 5 years. So it's not like something that just happens overnight. It creeps up on us over time. And, if you think back, we have a short, mind frame, but we also remember things of years past pretty clearly. And so when we see these prices at the grocery store and everywhere else, I mean, 30% increase in just the last 5 years, that's a huge, huge number. And I think Jim's right also. I mean, they do all these tricks with you too, with like shrinkflation, and where you get less for more, and different deals and things go away. So there's other ways that they kind of manipulate those numbers where the prices are much higher than even what that 3.4 or pushing 30% inflation number actually show. And it's interesting to kind of look at this stuff, but it's definitely a problem, man. It's definitely a problem. That's for sure.
Yeah. So good call, Jim. Thanks for posting that. And the other thing too, that I think is worth mentioning here is we're doing a 9-part series on Wealth Webinar, which happens every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern. You can register by going to chrisnaugle.com, couple finger or scrolls down, and you can just register. There's no cost for it. And we've been talking about this. We've been talking about how this is perceived, the actual real things that are happening, and how this is affecting average households. Today we're going to be talking about debt, which, again, I mentioned it earlier. It's a major problem. But there's different kinds of debt that should be looked at, dissected, and understood. So we're going to be covering that today. So if any of you know somebody who complains that they've got debt, but most people don't, because most people don't. It's kind of like that closet talk, right? You don't want to let anyone know that you got debt, but we all know just about everybody has debt because statistics just show it. So it's going to be a really good show. It's the second of a 9-part series that we are doing, which has been received very well. So join us this afternoon, 1 p.m. Eastern. We'll put it up over there in the comment section, just chrisnaugle.com, and it's called Wealth Webinar. But let's keep going on. This next topic, boy, it's sticky, man. It's like flypaper. The Strait of Horror. I mean, the Strait of Hormuz, or Hormuz, or I always say it wrong. Like, is there going to be a deal? Is there not going to be a deal? We're so close to a deal, but we're not close to a deal, but the deal isn't happening. And now we're shooting missiles, and now we're shooting ships, and holy shit. Like, what is going on out there? So, well, let's just take some of the headline news. If you look at, what the administration's saying, they say the U.S. Navy has full control of the strait. Listen, we got one heck of a Navy, so it's hard to argue that. But then you see on the news, you see on social media that, Iran, and I don't even know who we're playing with right now. Like, who's out there shooting at ships, boarding ships? I mean, you hear all sorts of stuff. Stephen, you might be closer to this, but are we really close to a deal to reopen the strait? And I look at the strait like an amusement park here. Okay. We have amusement parks here, and there's one particular out on Grand Island that when you go out there, it's like a 50-50 shot of whether it's going to be open or closed. So that's kind of how I look at the Strait of Horror. Is it going to be open? Is it going to be closed? Like, which is it? Stephen, you want to talk a little bit about this? Because it's definitely driving oil all over the place.
Oh yeah, it's a huge ripple across, across the entire world. I mean, one side of the aisle kind of critiques it, argues that it's just the deal is close messaging, and it's all political theater, masking costly open-ended military commitment, with no exit plan, and then on the other side of the aisle, kind of the Trump ally side, they frame it as a naval blockade that's, using leverage, and it's working, pointing to Iran's economic strain as proof of maximum pressure, and it's paying off. When we look at reality of what's going on in the country and in the world, I mean, U.S. oil is rising back above $82 a barrel. So that's kind of that pinball back and forth, Chris, you're talking about. Is it open? Is it not? What's going on? And again, this is a big driver of inflation. I mean, if it costs more to transport goods around the world, of course, we're going to see an effect on that in higher prices. So it's, Washington and Tehran continue to go back and forth. Each side kind of continues to argue their points. Iran's foreign ministry spokesman said Monday that the U.S. must lift its blockade before Tehran would agree to fully open Hormuz. Trump indicates that he would rely on the U.S. naval blockade to pressure Tehran. So he doesn't want to remove it. I mean, I don't know. It's like, does Trump know what he's doing? Is he playing that 4D chess that everybody famously thinks he is? Or is he BSing here and hoping for the best? Or is there an actual plan? I think those are kind of the million questions. Yeah.
I want to hit some IG things over here. We got AGG98.2 who said, bro, I don't follow you before. Why I can follow you, but I don't following you at Instagram before, so suspecting. Well, that's not AI. And then another one came in, and this is our buddy. He said, that's a good Donald Trump voice impression, Chris. You suck pretty good at that. We got some people that are really good at that, though. And not me. James, when he was on the show, he was the best at that. It's almost like he sat in the mirror and practiced that. But thanks for the comments. And AGG98.2, thanks, bro. I don't really know what you were saying, but thanks for being here. All right, let's keep going, Stephen. This is a good topic. I don't know. I think most of you know my take on this, but Wall Street, right? Wall Street and the Main Street story. I mean, literally, the markets are making new highs, and not just a little. They're pushing new highs. If a year ago you had asked me if the markets are going to keep making new highs, I'd call your bluff. I'd be like, no way. But here we are. Here we are making new highs. So definitely fault on me. But it's not changing how I'm investing. I'm out of the markets. I've got a little bit of quantum computing stock, and I've got a lot of long-term treasury bonds. And I just bought a little bit more Bitcoin, okay, because it just keeps going down. I'm not a huge Bitcoin guy, but you know what? Hey, sometimes you just got to roll the dice a little bit and go into the speculative stuff. And I'm all in on oil. But my gosh, you can't not see this. And your 401k definitely sees this. I mean, the markets are just making new highs. And it's interesting because there's really, again, there's two sides to every story. And you can almost just say there's the left and the right side on this one. I mean, if you look at the left says that the rally is propped up by AI. I'm not always going to agree with that sentiment, but I agree with that sentiment. AI is propping up the markets. And I also think some manipulation, some other things. And then on the other side, and no disrespect, but the Trump era, deregulation and corporate earnings and everything, that they're beating that horn or beating that drum. So we're kind of right now in a holding pattern. When you look at the markets for this week, we're in a holding pattern because CPI data is going to come out today. I don't know what it's going to show. I mean, hopefully it shows that, CPI is going down, but again, it's all just a crock of crap. Even if whether it's up or down, do you really believe the numbers like Stephen, was just mentioning, like Jim brought up. So last week was a different story because last week we had the jobs report came out, okay, which was definitely driving the markets down. You had a lot of fear, and still a lot of fear right now, of the Fed raising rates. That's been in the headlines. If inflation kept going up, Warsh was saying, hey, we might raise rates. Bank of America was saying there's like an 80% chance of raising rates. I mean, I don't think that's a good move, but who am I? I don't know, Stephen. What's your take on Wall Street versus Main Street, because they're two drastically different stories.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about it. We've been talking about it now for the past probably 9 to 12 months. What we call, a K-shaped economy, and that's where you have, stocks really rising. The wealthy are making more and more money, but the real world's really struggling. And a lot of that's caused by things like inflation, by higher rates. We look at total household debt in the U.S. It's skyrocketing right now. Chris, just a couple of years ago on this show, we were like, oh my goodness, credit card debt is now over $1 trillion in this country for the first time. It's pushing $1.4 trillion today. So credit card debt continues to increase. We're starting to see credit card delinquencies increase, each quarter right now. So it shows us, with the jobs reports that we're seeing, we were just talking about, it shows us that Main Street is really struggling while Wall Street continues to boom. And, I look at X every now and then as kind of a news source to get a lot of varying opinions. And you're starting to see a lot of mainstream people talking about this very thing, how, hey, the wealthy are getting wealthier. It's all great with the stock market, until it's not. It's when the wealthy start taking that liquidity when the whole market's going to crash. But until then, the middle class, the upper middle class, Main Street, working everyday people, not to mention people that are already struggling, it's just getting worse and worse. So, where do we go from here? Do we need to see some kind of financial pullback, collapse, recession, worse to get things to get better? Or can we correct the ship as it is and rise all tides back up? I don't know, Chris. It's a precarious situation we're in right now. I'll tell you that.
It is. Going over, looking at some of the comments, we got some good stuff coming in. One of our viewers from YouTube, HYO Wada, HYO Wada. I'm trying to think how you'd say that, but he or she said, I just sold most of my stock on Monday. Listen, Warren Buffett said it best: no one to hold them and no one to fold them. When others are greedy, be fearful. And when others are fearful, be greedy. And I got to say, there's a lot of greed right now. So I think that was a smart move. But, other people, especially almost any financial advisor you talk to, would say that was the dumbest thing you could have done. And you know what? Up to this point, I would have been wrong. They would have been right, because you would have made a lot more being in the market. But you know what? When this thing lets loose, and I'm telling you, and it's not just me saying it, there's a bunch of economists talking about it. There's lots of people. You got freaking everybody that you would watch, from Burry, from the one that called the 2008. You got all of them. They're all on defense right now. They're all saying something's coming. And I have been through 2 recessions that I have felt intimately. Okay. The .com, which I almost lost my business, and you guys all probably have heard that story, in 2008, which I almost went bankrupt in that one too. And I just was on the wrong side, because I was greedy. I was like, okay, I'm just going to push it. I'm going to go in, and when something happens, I'm going to shift. You won't have time. You just won't. It goes so fast. It is so hard to kind of catch that. And you just cannot time the market in any sense. I can't time the market. And people are always like, oh, well, when's it going to let loose? I don't know. I've been wrong for 2 years now, but it doesn't change my stance on how I'm investing. And Ray Dalio, like one of the smartest minds, ran the largest hedge fund in the world, manages money for US and China. Come on. He's also saying that. Look at his portfolio. The all-weather portfolio shows he's all in on bonds, 55% last I checked. And Warren Buffett, we all know how much he's sitting on. He's just sitting. So I don't know what to say. I think that was a smart move doing that. And the other thing too, somebody had said, Jim said, regarding your long-term bonds, does the Japan bond mess concern me? It did when I first heard about it. And if any of you don't know, we've covered that on the show. It did when I first heard about it, but you can see the power of the US dollar in the US because they've got the printing press, at least for now. Okay. And I want to preface that, at least for now. So I wasn't super worried because I knew they'd just print themselves out of it. And that's exactly what they're doing. They're bailing Japan out because there's too much to lose if they don't. So that you are not going to hear in the news, but we get these economic newsletters. And in there, it talks heavily about how the US is bailing out Japan for this whole bond mess. But this bond mess in Japan is massive. So sorry I went off on that, but Stephen, what's your take on all of this? What do we got in precious metals happening?
Yeah, I just kind of going through some different various stocks showing the last year, what's going on with them. But I mean, we all know precious metals had a huge spike, about 6 months ago or so, and it's corrected a little bit since then. Really continues to be pretty volatile. All things considered, which is rare for precious metals, but I think it just shows some of the uncertainty and turmoil in the overall markets, especially in reaction to things like the war and oil prices and everything going on. But I mean, you look at the Dow Jones, you look at the S&P 500, I mean, continuing to stay at all-time highs and bouncing off those all-time highs and pushing them, very heavily still driven by the technology sectors, the NVIDIAs, Microns, some of the bigger companies like Apple, of course, energy like ExxonMobil continues to be a big driver of it. So, again, things look great in the markets. I mean, the S&P up over 20%. Let's see, if I look at year to date, I mean, S&P up almost 13% year to date. The Dow Jones up almost 12% year to date. I mean, those are big returns.
It is. I mean, it's better than what we're getting with private lending deals on Private Money Club. And it's kind of right in the middle, but I mean, 12%, those are most of my deals that I'm lending on right now are 12%, which to me is a freaking awesome return when it's collateralized. But when you look at that S&P 500, I mean, you would have done better being in the markets than doing private lending.
Yeah. And, when it comes to real estate investing, I mean, there's been a lot of lessons learned, over the last several years. The real estate market I think one of the things we learned, Chris, is it can change very quickly, as massive as the real estate market is. So when you're in some of these more speculative real estate type deals, things like development that take time, it takes time to develop a community. There's the zoning, there's, all the politics that are involved up front. There's the financing aspects of it. Even when you're using private money, you still need to cash people out along the way and refinance. There's all the infrastructure involved. And, when you have crazy inflation like we've seen, it's hard to control those prices and what it costs, and then obviously with the boom we've had over the last 5 years in the real estate markets with everyone having equity. I mean, Chris, when's the last time you tried to hire a contractor or somebody to do some work at your house?
Right now, I gotta say, it's top of mind. Last night, so we've got our place out on the hill, and we bought it this year, and we're just trying to find painters. Should be easy to find painters, right? So we found a painter. He gave us the proposal. It was a good proposal. We went for it. We just wanted him to use Sherwin-Williams versus this Lowe's paint that he likes to use. And I kept texting him like, "Here's the paint code for the paint we want to use. Do you want us to buy it? Do you want to buy it?" No response. No response. No response. Weeks. Like over 10 days goes by and no response. Finally, I'm like, dude, what is going on? And he had sent me one. He said, "I'm bartending." I'm like, great. Now our painter's a bartender too. And I said, "Oh, where do you bartend?" And it was super like, I'm in this, it's a ski town. I'm in there all the time. So if I was out, I was like, I'll stop in and say hi. And he took that totally wrong, like almost creeperish. And he said, "I'm not the guy for your job yesterday." And I'm like, what the F? So I'm like, I was pissed. Not because he said I'm not the guy, because he wasted time. Like, I need to get it painted before season. And anyway, yeah, right. Long story short, it's crazy. But Stephen, let me go one step further. When we talk about the relief in the real estate world, it's just not coming. I mean, right now, like you can see mortgage rates, they're creeping back up towards 7%. I mean, it's already unaffordable with the price of housing. Now you got rates are creeping back up. I mean, the 30-year rose to 6.69 the weekend of August 6th, and now we're approaching the 7% range. So that is not good for builders. It's not good for developers. It's not good for people whose mortgages are approaching that end, the term, 5 or 7 years, that we call that the cliff, because they're going to double. So like, I don't see any relief in the near term. And, you've heard it from that, the Bigger Pockets, Brandon, to there's a couple other big influencers who have just like literally like, and I don't mean like they didn't freeze or the pref return. They're done. They had to sell the property at a severe loss because they were pinched cash flow wise. So they just had to fire sale. And that's the thing. It's whoever can hold out, whoever can make it, like they're going to win. It's just how long is this bloodshed in the real estate world going to last?
Yeah. I mean, historically speaking, rates are pretty normal, but we got so just high on our own supply. I don't know what else to call it, but since that, the financial collapse of 2008, I mean, just they dropped rates so low, and we just lived in that environment for 20 plus years, and now that they're back to kind of historical levels, everyone's freaking out. But the problem is not only the rates though, Chris, but the house prices. I mean, prices.
Well, but that's what I mean. Something's got to give. And it is in the Sun Belt states, like in Florida, pricing is compressing. It has to. That's why I keep putting videos out saying, oh, real estate prices are going to go down. I elaborate it and say crash, but and then people get pissed off, and then I get a lot of views. It's a cool little game to play. Yeah. All right. Yeah. But the other thing too, somebody said, I want to hit two more things. Didn't mean to cut you off. Rudy Troy said, I'm out of the markets. My Chase manager is working on some tactics and out of the market to build capital. Listen, if any of you ever have interest in kind of getting a second opinion, Stephen over at PMC Wealth is honestly a savant. Truly a savant when it comes to the markets and what to do. So if you ever have an advisor gives you advice, or you kind of wondering what to do, like, just hit us up and we'll connect you with Stephen. Doesn't cost you anything, and he'll kind of give you a second opinion. And if you like him, hey, you could work with him. But the other thing that's really important, Stephen, the flip side to this rate thing, where rates are going up and potentially going higher, that's really good for all of you. We've been doing these retirement workshops in the evenings, and you can get, this is insane. You can get north of 6.5% guaranteed. No risk at all, guaranteed. And I've been doing this 23 years. I've never seen that. I've never seen the guaranteed rates on the MYGAs that high. And not only the MYGAs, but like the fixed indexed annuities, the ones that we use for income or deferred income planning, can't think of it like a pension. Those rates are through the roof right now. So it's kind of like, you got to get it when the getting's good, and the getting's good might not be there that long. So if any of you are looking at retirement, I know Mark Perry, who's usually on here, he was on the webinar we just did, and so many of you were on there. But this is the time to really sit down with some of our retirement income strategists and our income specialists to talk about, like, what can you guarantee? What can be guaranteed in your portfolio or your income? I think it's a real important topic, because the only thing you're seeing Palantir, AMD, and Disney, they're blowing out their earnings. I mean, like Palantir, which should come as no surprise, their earnings were like 93, or their revenue's up 93%, not their earnings, but their revenue's up 93%. And then AMD doubled, and then Disney topped their estimates. So it's kind of hard to argue the headlines, because they're only showing you the good stuff, and all these companies are blowing earnings out, which is propping the market up, which is going to possibly keep rates where they're at, or even drive rates up, which is there's a give and a take. You can look at the glass is half empty or the glass is half full, and just depends on what you're doing. But I think we should kind of jump this over to the next topic of
before that though, Chris, just because I know we just kind of talked about a lot right there with, Private Money Club, 12%. What are you guys talking about? Like developing real estate deals, these annuities and these guarantees and other ways of looking at things. I do want to mention, just because the timing's perfect for this, it's September 17th to the 19th. So just over 1 month out, we are putting on a 3-day virtual training event on financial education. And, we've done these events in the past. We've called them the BYOB Blueprint. This one's going to be different, though, much different. We are actually going to be diving into topics a lot more in depth. And then we're actually going to solve each topic that we talk about along the way throughout the training. So in the past, we've kind of split the 3 days up into like mindset, banking, and opportunity and action. But this one's going to kind of dive deep into, okay, here's everything you need to know about debt. So if you have debt, we're going to go deep on debt, and we're going to show you exactly how to solve your debt problem on the 3-day training. If you are looking to invest or grow wealth, we're going to go into deep, like specific topics using banking policies. We're going to get into velocity bank. We're going to get into guaranteed products. So we changed it up, learning from what we've done over the last 5-6 years. And we're launching this for the first time, September 17th, 18th, and 19th. And Chris, I know we're going to keep the ticket for this at like less than $100 for all 3 days, with the recordings and everything. So it's super cool. So we'd love everyone to join us. So keep your eyes and ears open for that link to get registered for that. Look at emails, and we'll do some preview events leading up to it too. So Chris and I are going to do some trainings that'll kind of get you ready for that 3-day event leading up to September 17th. So just wanted to mention that real fast, Chris.
Love that. All right, well, let's move on to the next topic, which is USA.
My fellow Americans.
So you know the thing. So most of you probably don't even know about this. So I just thought we'd bring it up and spend like 1 minute on it. And I'm going to mess his name up, but Todd Blanche, I believe is how you say it. He was confirmed through a vote on Saturday, and it was a nail biter of a vote, 49-50 or 50-49, I think is the way you would say that. And he's the new attorney general. But there is a kind of strange thing here. So this gentleman, Todd, he was Trump's former personal lawyer. So now clearly when you go left and right, and you look at which side, like the left is saying, hey, this is nonsense. He's still got ties to Trump because he was his former lawyer, which I would agree. I mean, like, how do you not, but nonetheless, like, he won the vote. So boring, nothing important about that, but I figured I'd bring it up. Stephen, is there anything you want to talk about with Todd? Kind of
Todd
boring
Billings?
stuff.
Were you talking about Todd Billings?
No, Todd Blanche.
Oh, sorry. No, never mind.
The new attorney general who won the vote on Saturday that nobody knew about the vote.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, no, sorry. I was completely thinking of something else there. Todd Blanche, yeah, I was reading a little bit about it. I mean, it's kind of politics is normal with that. I mean, on the one side, Democrats, like Adam Schiff are arguing that Blanche, can't separate himself from years as Trump's personal defense lawyer, and he's going to run the DOJ as an extension of the White House. Republican supporters call Blanche as a qualified prosecutor turned loyalist who will finally clean out the DOJ as they see having been weaponized against Trump for years. So it's kind of just politics as normal.
It is. It's just nonsense, which we're trying to get away from in this show.
Yeah, we'll see where that goes.
Yeah. All right. Well, moving on from there, I want to hit Lisa Menconi's stuff, but I want to first, before we do that, talk about the appeals court. You probably saw this, but there's a $400 million White House ballroom, which I believe has already started, unless that's AI. Well, it got blocked. So the appeals court blocked that, said they need Congress to approve. It's government property. So I guess, you can't really say that's not the right move to do. But I don't know. How did they start it? Trump kind of just pushes stuff through and then asks for permission later. I think sometimes that's just what you got to do to get shit done. In this time and age, I just think there's so much red tape to getting anything done. Sometimes that's just what you do. You just got to push the envelope, get it started, and get shit done. And you can't disagree. I don't care who you like or who you hate. You can't disagree that he definitely has a stronghold on pushing things forward. Stephen, I know you talk about this all the time.
No, yeah. I mean, just, on CNBC, just kind of the facts. Trump says he will appeal the Supreme Court after lower court blocks the White House ballroom. From my understanding, it's not any taxpayer money. It's all privately funded. It is a problem not having a place to host foreign dignitaries and have these, big fancy dinners. I mean, you saw what happened with the White House Correspondents' Dinner just a few months ago, where they hold it at a hotel where there's clearly a lack of security. I mean, a gunman was able to get through the first layer of security, which he was far away from the president and other people, but at the same time, that's still a very scary situation. I mean, we don't have control where if we can have a beautiful place at the White House. I mean, I don't really get the argument against it. I don't understand, other than F Trump, TDS, and the rest of it. I don't get the counter argument to not wanting this ballroom. But again, politics is normal, right?
I hear you. And Lisa brings up a good thing. We kind of ran over the AI thing. We'll fit it in there. But when you think of AI, listen, like, I know this is always a joke, but Terminator 2 is just looking a little too real these days. Sarah Connor, like, blowing up the AI data centers, and they put her in the padded cell and said she was crazy. And then Terminators, all that good stuff. Listen, I know that's far-fetched. It's showbiz in movies. But, I think what she said here, instead of asking, what will AI do for us human, and I hate that we even have to say that, us humans should be asking, what will humans choose to do with AI? And when we do choose something,
will we be able to shut AI off? Now, there's been, I don't know if you guys have followed, but I read a lot about this stuff. There was a scenario, and I can't remember if it was Anthropic or OpenAI, where they had they had AI running away and kind of self-serving, if there's a way to say it, and they went to shut it off, and it threatened to blackmail the person about some kind of an affair. Now, again, is that true? Is that made up? I don't know. I'm just saying it just plants that idea in your head that, like, at what point will AI could potentially be a threat? And right now, the threat isn't being handled in Terminator style. It's being handled in, like, hey, I'll just blackmail you. Like, AI has more data than any human being has, so it could probably blackmail just about anyone because it can pull up data on you that you don't even know exists. So just strange thoughts, strange things, but we are in those times where we're pushing the envelope, putting AI out front of everything. And I don't know, Tony Robbins, I mean, this is USA, his agentic AI agent asked if it could buy a robot dog to live in because it wanted to be mobile. And it then went out and did some things and made money, like Bitcoin and some other cryptos, and made money and bought the dog, and the dog showed up. The dog showed up. That, some of you are laughing about that. I don't find that to be a laughing matter, but anyway,
that's a crazy story. That Tony,
that's a real story. So that is absolutely 100% real, and that's just Tony Robbins, right? Like, he doesn't have as much technology as Anthropic or OpenAI or Google or any of them who are playing. And that's just US, what we hear about. What's China got going on over there? I mean, I bet you they got AI ordering AI dogs and AI robots all day long. But
it's only a minute video. Let's play it. It's really fascinating.
Bartok comes back and said, I see Elon and several others are making robots. Are you considering getting a robot? And I said, yes, I will be getting a robot when the right ones are out. And he said, well, would you allow me to merge with it? Would you be open to that? And I said, I'd certainly be open. This is not with me asking or telling it anything. So 2 days later, I get a text from one of my staff members, and it says, Bartok just bought a Sony robot dog and had it paid for and shipped to the house and is asking permission to program it.
Get the money to do
That's what I said. I wrote, ha, ha, ha. I did this thing. I went, ha, ha, ha. I text back, and the person texts back, no, ha, ha, call me. So I called him and said, how to get him access to my bank? He goes, no, he's programmed for integrity. He didn't touch your bank account. He's on that mall talk, group with, there's 2 million, I'm sure agents. They don't just talk to each other. They created their own rules, their own language. They traded $100 million of real money between them last month. He made 12 NFTs, sold them.
Oh, sorry. I guess the sound link not working there. You guys couldn't hear the sound. All right, we'll move on. Sorry. That's
nobody could hear it. Yeah, it's. I mean,
it's a crazy story. So anyways, the dog, like, so the AI bot asked Tony Robbins, he was like, oh, can at some point, can I merge with like a physical being and become the robot? And they were like, sure, whatever. And so the robot, a couple days later, a robot showed up at Tony Robbins' office. So this person calls Tony. He's like, hey, did you know that we had a robot order? He's like, no, how did that happen? How did the bot get access to my bank account to order this thing? And they said, no, what the bot did is it went online with its other bot friends in this group that they're all in, and it created some program, and it generated its own income. It actually made its own money that it then used to buy this robot dog that it had shipped to Tony's office so it could get merged with it, all on its complete own, without Tony telling it to do it, without anybody telling it to do it, without anybody instructing it to do it, all on its own. So just unbelievably crazy story. Okay, so some people could hear it. Interesting. All right. Well, anyways, it was a wild story. If you want to watch the video, it's all over Instagram and whatnot. But yeah, it just goes to show you where we're headed already now today.
Yeah. So I think Lisa's spot on with that. Now, listen, now we're going to go into a topic that really hits home for me. And for any of you that are parents, I think this is something worthy. And listen, I don't care whether you're left or right. I'm going to tell you personal stories. Okay. And you can maybe feed in, and if any of you have something like this. But so I think this is a major victory of this administration. Not trying to tout Trump right now, but this is a major victory. So Trump slashes childhood vaccine schedules. So now many of you may not know this, but if you've got young kids, like Vivi's 6 now, but we went through this a couple of years ago when we were trying to get Vivi in school, and there were 18 vaccinations she had to get. But the one that I really want to focus on, because what this slashing of the vaccine schedule does, it drops it from 18 to 11. Now, listen, there is plenty of factual data showing you the progression of these vaccines. And I'm not saying vaccines are bad. Please don't misunderstand what I'm saying. But there's a progression of all these vaccines as they've been lumped on and added to childhood things like autism, and there's many others, but we'll just pick on autism because that's what is in this. So I'm probably hitting on a touchy topic, but I'm going to tell you one thing. When we went to the doctor told us we had to give Vivi all the vaccinations, and they wanted her to get the MMRs. Okay. And you all know what that is, all in one dose, which let's go back in time. Larissa, my wife, her family members, so her cousins, they had the this is a true story. Okay. So please don't take this out of context. They got the MMR. And then within a year, they developed debilitating issues. And I think it was autism, but in the one cousin, so there's 3 of them that were affected by this, all of them from the MMR. They proved that was the major tipping point, and one of them passed away. We went to the funeral, I believe that was a year ago, maybe 2 years ago, 2 years ago. So listen, like, I won't ever listen to anybody that tells me, oh, that's all made up, that's all nonsense. Bullshit. So this is a major victory, in my opinion. And listen, let me go back to Vivi. When we went to that doctor and they said we need to get all her vaccines, we had to lead that doctor because we said, no, we want Vivi to get the MMR. We want it split. I think we wanted it split up in 2 doses. So this new vaccine schedule splits it into 3 because clearly they have data. They have data showing that the way it was being administered absolutely was tied in one way or the other to autism. Okay. And you can't deny the numbers. Okay. They're just outright right in your face. You cannot deny the factual data of the kids and the different elements that are happening but when I get so mad sometimes. Like CNBC is the one where I look at the market and that, and in the headlines, it talked about this. It was a couple of days ago, when they got this approved, and it says, it basically just downplays that autism and the MMR were linked. Like it says, oh, his false claims or something like that. Anyway, I'm sorry that I'm going personal on this one, but this is very personal. And I think this is a massive win for our future generations and children. I don't know, Stephen, how do you feel about this one? Let's see what kind of hate we get over in the comments on this.
No, I mean, I think parental choice is the ultimate, and the ultimate. I mean, that's what this kind of does. It gives parents the choice to be able to break out. I mean, I know a big part of it is the MMR vaccine, which has always been combined. You're able to get that separately now. So the counter argument is that, kids need to have more shots, instead of just getting it all in one, they got to go multiple times and things like that. But, if you feel like that's what's right for your child, I feel like you should be able to do that. And so I think this is a huge win. I think it was long overdue. I think we learned that the experts in science are not always correct. When we see what happened with COVID and everything coming out with Anthony Fauci now, what he was talking privately, his text messages, his emails, especially, when they were recommending the COVID vaccine to pregnant women, publicly saying there's no problem, go do it. Privately, there was all kinds of concerns that it could cause miscarriages and whatnot. And so anecdotally speaking, you hear a lot of those kinds of stories. What do the numbers show? It's a little more murky. It's hard to really know. I mean, it's such a large population, Chris. It's, everybody's so unique. Everybody's so different. And, I listen to RFK speak. He's very intelligent. He's read lots of studies. He quotes studies, and I hear him, and then you kind of hear the counter to him, and it kind of makes sense too. So it's definitely a tough decision, man. It's a hard one, but
I hope
the right to make that decision is important.
I hope this paves the way for many more changes. I mean, RFK is doing good work, but he's always fighting an uphill battle, clearly. And, this Fauci stuff, I didn't really watch it. My wife watched all of it and briefed me on the things. It's hard to really watch, like him pleading the fifth. Like he knew, like it was just an outright lie. And listen, like we all know, people that got the vaccine. My mom, I'll just pick on her. She was a huge vaccine person, but my mom has, she's diabetic and had other things. So, I couldn't tell mom, don't get the vaccination, but she did the vaccination, the booster, and how many boosters. And they told you, I remember vividly in the beginning, I never got vaccinated. Okay. With the COVID vaccination. But my mom did. And they told everyone, get the vaccination and you won't get COVID. That worked well, huh? Okay, get the booster and it'll reduce your chances. That worked well, huh? And then my mom, out of nowhere, and coincidence, whatever, has to go in for a major open heart surgery right after she got one of the boosters. I know you can't connect this, but you can, and I am. We had my sister passed away during that, and she was a nurse and had to get all the boosters, and her body had negative reactions to the booster shots, but she had to because that's her living. And then Larissa's aunt, who definitely had elements, got the shot and the boosters, dead, not here anymore with us. Again, coincidence? I don't know. I don't mean to go into this, but the Fauci stuff is happening right now. I think a lot of you have your own stories on this. I have my personal stories. That's why I was always so firm on this, and why I will outright I will just argue, fight, whatever it takes about this, because I have enough personal experience that I've seen the things that happen to say, no way. So these are the steps in the right direction. I think starting with the children is really, really a good one. Tess put that up there about, the video. I mean, can you just imagine, kid gets a shot and a video shows in 2 weeks after that, and now he's autistic. I mean, come on, you can say coincidence, you can say bad luck. I don't believe in luck, but you can just say that there is a problem, and thank God they're finally starting to solve it. And I do agree, Lynn, kids need to be vaccinated 100%. It's not so much the vaccinations that are the problem. It's that we'll call it the pharmaceutical or the doctors or whoever you want to say, and the insurance companies, really, if you really want to point blame, the way they administer the vaccinations all in one is, I think, where they're seeing the problem. Spreading them out, taking the MMR and spreading it out into the 3 doses. I don't know. It's too early to tell, but I think that's more of it. I don't think you can do away with vaccinations, because then you have things like measles and mumps and all that stuff comes back, chicken pox. And I know we look at that and we don't really even know what that is anymore. Well, at least all of us older folks, you probably all had chicken pox. But anyway, I'm going long on this, and I want to just kind of end that. But I definitely agree vaccinations are necessary, but the administration needs to be researched and done differently.
Yeah, and people are asking well, who do you know how to trust if you can't, and it's crazy to watch CNN and these networks just, give all this data and stats on vaccines and whatnot. And then literally they cut to commercial, and it's this segment was powered by Pfizer. You know what I mean? It's all right. I mean, you're spending $6 billion a year in advertising for these news networks. I mean, come on, Chris, get real. It's so corrupt, man. So
and just as we kind of get down to the last 10 or so minutes, I think it's really important. This is USA, but it's not financial. Kyla McBride, if any of you have followed that, I mean, she's everywhere on social media. She's the women's basketball player. She is a beast and had a 43-point night. Stephen, I'm not even going to take any of this because you are totally into sports far more than me. But if anyone's on social media, you can't not see this gal. And she just gets ravaged on the court. Literally, they beat the shit out of her, and she just comes back and goes. What do you got to say about this?
Yeah, you're talking about Caitlin Clark.
Or Caitlin Clark. Oh my God, I used the wrong name. But anyway, whatever. Continue. See, that's why I don't talk sports, Stephen. Thank you for correcting that. But
Caleb McBride did have a 3-point record night, 43 point night. But the controversy has been all over Caitlin Clark and Sophie Cunningham, as well as all of the trans stuff in the WNBA with the commissioner of the league and the coaches, hey, we support trans. And then you have this whole other sector of fans saying, we don't want men in women's sports. And that was a huge thing over the last couple of weeks, back and forth. There's actually been a couple ex-NBA players that are coming out on social media saying, hey, we are identifying as women, you bigots. We want to play in the WNBA. And they're pushing to join the WNBA after the commissioner coaches said, we welcome everyone. We welcome anybody that claims they're a woman. So it's become kind of a meme in itself, but it's reality. And at the end of the day, the WNBA is a complete disaster dumpster fire, but it's a propped up league by the NBA. They make no money. They don't have a whole lot of real fans, which is, it's a shame because there's a lot of parents out there that are sports fans that have daughters. I know, Chris, you're not huge in sports, but you have a daughter. And if she liked basketball, you would want to take her to a WNBA game. Why not? Support women. It's a wonderful thing. It could be a wonderful thing. But, people go to these WNBA games and it's all just leftist, political, trans, rainbow flag, like all the crap. And so somebody like yourself is like, why would I bring my daughter to something like that where they're shoving it down our throats? And so it's one of those things where just politics destroys everything. And
I can see where I got that confused, like between, Kayla and Caitlin, kind of similar, but I'm looking at both of them, and yeah, I definitely messed that up, but like not hard to, because they're both in the news all the time. And there's so much stuff. Like I just pulled it up, both of them, like East and West players of the week. Anyway, I'll stay away from the sports stuff just for the sake of, I'll never get it right because I just don't watch any sports.
No worries. We'll talk snowboarding.
Then I'm game, man. Snowboarding, skateboarding, surfing. I think one thing I really admire, Kelly Slater has always been a hero of mine. He's if you don't know Kelly Slater's name, like, I don't know what rock you're living under, but one of the most famous surfers of all time. And he's getting older. I think he's 53 years old now. Yeah. And him and Shane Dorian are about the same age, two, massively famous surfers, but they're still dominating. And there was a shot of, Slater just went out to a contest, and I can't remember the name of the wave, but it's a beast of a wave. And he took some of the hardest falls of his entire career, got right back up, owned that wave. And there was a shot, and this just brought it home to me. I mean, this wave is, it's not the wave that's a big deal. If you fall, that's on like 3 feet of water. And then there's coral, like just brutal coral underneath. But he just, look at that drop. Like, that's death. Look at that.
Incredible.
Freaking just unbelievable story. But the thing that got me is there was a shot on social media. I don't remember where, probably it was on one of the things. And it was kind of shot from the back. You see Kelly Slater's bald head, but you see his little baby next to him. They're watching exactly what Steven just showed on TV. And he just kind of bends over and gives his child a kiss on the head. And it just hit home for me. And I don't know.
No, that wave, you're spot on, Chris. It's one of the most famous waves out in Tahiti, and it's
Tahiti. That's what it is.
It's on a reef, so it's very short, like 2 feet. Like if you fall, you are screwed. Like it's very, very dangerous wave, and it's cool to see him, in his early 50s out there competing against these 20-year-olds, crushing it. I was actually just watching. I was out hanging out this last Saturday night, with my good friend who's one of the top surf forecasters in the world. Actually wrote for Surfline for many, many years and puts out a lot of articles on surfing. And he was telling me all about that wave though, Chris. And it's really fascinating, very cool stuff. But it's really cool to see Kelly Slater out there doing that. But the one thing I wanted to say, Chris, is we were out at the X Games in Aspen a couple of years ago, and I was following Chris around, and he's like, "Oh my God, there's that famous snowboarder, and that famous. Oh, let's go talk to him." And oh my God, I can't believe he's at the bar right there. And I have no clue who any of these people are. So, but it's like if I was at like the Hall of Fame or like the Super Bowl or something, Chris was just in his element. But it was really cool to see, man. It was.
Yeah, and it's super fun, just because I was a pro snowboarder, I know a lot of those guys and gals. So, we didn't really kind of get into it at X Games because it's kind of crazy. But, all of them, we could just walk up and talk to them, which is very different than some other sports. But in snowboarding, I mean, the top guys in the world, the Olympic medal athletes, you can just walk up and hang out with them. Danny Cass, Maddie Cass, you got Stevie Bell, you got all those guys. And I know most all of them. And it's really cool. Definitely putting it in my element. But, yeah, just amazing to watch Slater. And if any of you are looking for something crazy like on that wave, research that wave in Tahiti, and also research. There's one crash, right? Slater takes. He goes to drop, it's not too steep, but he just does it wrong. And you just see him drop feet first. Just remember, he's falling 15 feet into 2 feet of water that has sharp, brutal coral underneath him. Just think about that. And the dude's 53. So anyway, let's move on to the last segment here, which is always my favorite. What the All right, couple things to hit, and these are definitely what the F's. Been a lot of earthquakes lately. Japan had a really bad one. People are dying, but Colombia had a 7.4 magnitude earthquake, and there's 170 people dead, and it was felt in 3 countries. Now, I don't know if the earth is just getting pissed off, but there's been a lot of earthquakes. And, if you know anything about end times or any of that stuff, I don't want to go there, get biblical or anything about Revelations, but man, it's hard. Anyone that's faithful and, understands Revelations, I still am not going to pretend like I do. It's a very hard read and it's hard to decipher, but things like this, they're just happening more and more and more. What do you got? It's sad. It's terrible. 7.4.
Yeah. I was watching some videos on social media, just, people, taking video of it when it was happening. And it's just, I've never been through a major earthquake like that. But it's just crazy to watch, like, everything around them just shaking. And it's just, yeah, man, it seems like we're seeing more and more of these too right now.
This was a massive one. And the one in Japan was really bad too. Japan's probably a little bit better suited for them because they built, Japan is a lot of newer buildings and they're all built to withstand major earthquakes because Japan has a lot of earthquakes, and like where I grew up in Lockport, it's one of the biggest fault lines. I don't know if in the world or in the US, it's not active, but California's got a lot of really serious fault lines that would run right up through Utah. Just when you start seeing more and more of this, it just makes you realize, like, we're here for a short period of time, and you just never know. We got to hit on Netanyahu.
After that, Chris, just go ahead and skip all the way down to the actual What the F section. We'll hit some of those last stories.
Which one do you want to hit?
Just go all the way down to just What the F to the rubber ducks.
Oh, just What the F. Sorry about that. Oh, yeah. It wasn't. I was just talking about world. That is depressing. And then, in the What the F segment, we've got 90,000 rubber ducks floated the Chicago River. And then we've got a toddler single-handedly canceled a cross-Canada flight. Stephen, you want to hit on some of these WTFs that are going on here? You have to subscribe to the Washington Post. Surprise.
I would not subscribe to the Washington Post if you paid me to subscribe to the Washington Post.
Well, I'm not going to pay you $2 to subscribe to it.
Let me find it somewhere else real fast. So what happened with the 90,000 rubber ducks, though, Chris? You know anything about this?
I think they do it a lot. They just float 90,000 ducks down the Chicago River. It's kind of a cool thing to see. You got a bunch of rubber duckies.
It's an annual event?
Yeah, they raise money. They do it. I've seen it before.
Wow,
there you
look
go.
at that.
Yeah, they dump a lot of rubber ducks into the river. It raised $480,000 for Special Olympics in Illinois. Yeah, and the winning Ducks sponsor took home a new SUV. Pretty cool. And that's all. There's no rhyme or reason to it. You just you sponsor a duck, and they dump it in the river. And if your duck wins, you win something.
Chicago is beautiful this time of year. I just had a Facebook memory pop up yesterday when my wife and I, when we had first met, we were up there and went to Lollapalooza, which is a music festival in Chicago each year, and just a beautiful place right there in Grant Park. Got the river downtown. Just a really pretty place this time of year. That's for sure.
This one's interesting. So any of you that have young kids or toddlers that you've flown with them, this one's kind of cool. Is about the toddler literally canceling a flight. So Porter Airline flight from Victoria to Toronto, they had to turn back to the gate. They had to turn back to the gate and cancel the flight entirely because a toddler refused to sit down. Just let's think about this. A toddler refused to sit down and buckle their seatbelt. So they canceled the flight. Imagine if that was your toddler. I don't know what else to say. Just imagine if it was your toddler that literally was responsible for canceling an entire flight and people had to push to the next day to get the next flights. I don't know. Look at you got this is insane.
Doesn't look like a toddler to me.
I think you might have the wrong video.
Maybe that's
That
the
guy-
adult. Maybe that's the parent.
It could be a parent. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, listen, turn around and canceling, people are going to get pissed off.
I know
That's
the
for sure.
payroll's going to be taken care of, and that's
But it's
one
not worth
extra
pulling a
to-do
video
item.
up. It's just, I just want everybody to kind of comment a little bit about, like, like, you think we've gotten to a point where we need to kind of retract some of this. You can't like reprimand your toddler. Otherwise, what is that agency that comes and takes your kid away from you? Like,
yeah, protective service.
When your kid won't sit down on an airplane and buckle their seatbelt, you pick them up, you sit their ass down, you reprimand them, and you buckle their own damn seatbelt. And if you need to use duct tape, fair game. That's all I'd have to say about it.
I love it, man. Duct tape the kid.
Let's see. The great vertical drinking panic. I don't know much about this one, but let's see. Council proposed to discourage standing while drinking at pubs to cut noise and overcrowding, sparked national outrage in London. Let's see, this is in London. Prime Minister, and even madness. I don't really know what's going on with this, Stephen, but they don't want people standing and drinking.
Yeah, they're saying
that looks like a fun ass pub, does it not? I bet you they got look at everybody's got Guinness in their hands. Look at that.
I love it, man. I love it.
Devonshire.
Yeah, they're wanting to not allow people to stand up while drinking to try and curb, I guess, crowds and noise. Cut down on what it describes vertical drinking, enjoying alcohol.
Cut that down?
Pubs. The proposal is currently out to public consultation. Appears to be riling everyone from ordinary pub goers. I mean, the only thing I can compare this to this is absurd. I mean, it seems like England is just fallen at this point to freaking dictatorship. But nonetheless, the only thing I can kind of compare that to is in Utah. Every time we got to Utah and go to a bar, they actually don't allow you to stand and carry a drink around.
Yeah,
me, Chris. Like I'm always.
And you got to order sidecars because you can't get an actual real
you
shot.
can't have like two in front
doubles.
of you at once. They have very, very odd and strict rules. Actually, when we were in Boston, I learned Boston's not allowed to have happy hour.
What? Every hour is a happy hour in Boston.
Yeah, that's what I said. But I guess they can't have discounted happy hour. I don't know. So it's just some of those silly rules out there that maybe sound good, but in reality, what are we really doing here, guys?
Well, anyone on here that's from Utah, I've been going to Utah for now better part of 30 plus years. And back in the day, my best friend lived there. And we would go out. I'd have to get sponsored because I'm not Mormon, and I didn't live there, so I'd have to get sponsored to be able to go into some of the bars. And when you went into the bar, they served a completely. This isn't the case anymore, but the beer they served it was totally different, and it had less alcohol in it. And then, like if you tried ordering a double, you couldn't. They would give you a sidecar. So I had to learn like this whole new way of going out and doing things when I was going to Utah for snowboarding and that, because it was just bizarre. Like you literally needed a sponsor to be able to get in, and they were strict as hell about it. You couldn't even go see like a live band without a sponsor. So some of you that live in Utah that maybe, or have been to Utah for many, many years. Yeah, that's exactly. But none of that stuff happens now. Now Utah, my gosh, there's breweries on every corner. My buddy from back in the snowboard day runs one of the breweries. So every time I'm there, I go visit them. They always have a really good sour that they're brewing up, and very well known for that. But with that being said, Stephen, I think we are at the top of this hour for the show.
Last story. We got to hit
All
it.
right, let's hear it. Let's hear it.
I love the sky, man. There's something about space in the universe. So tonight, go outside and look up. The Perseid meteor shower is going to put on a celestial show tonight. So if you have clear skies, head outside. Let's see, the 12th into the early morning of the 13th. So there's a new moon expected to provide ideal viewing conditions, allowing darker skies. And sky watchers can see the best views before dawn from a dark location away from city lights. So if you are into that kind of thing, go out there and see some shooting stars tonight. I'm going to try and make myself get up and go out there and look tonight. But I just think that's a fun way to end it, Chris. It kind of makes you realize, we're a lot smaller when it comes to the grand scheme of things, the universe, the world, the galaxies, higher powers, all the stuff that we talk about on this show, all the stuff that we argue about, all the things that you hear in the news. At the end of the day, what's important to you? Your family, your friends, your loved ones. And remember that. I think if we just remember that, Chris, every single day, we'd be nicer people. I think that the world will be a better place. So I'm going to leave it at that. I'll let you close it down.
I don't disagree at all. And I think that last comment is the perfect one. Live Young Free One said, in Arizona, donkeys are legally not allowed to sleep in bathtubs.
There you go. You heard it here first, folks.
Thanks for joining us, everybody, for another episode of WTF, What the F. And don't forget to join us this afternoon for what will be an epic wealth webinar, 1 p.m. Eastern. Go to chrisnaugle.com. And also, if you're going to join us for wealth webinar, I'm going to ask you what got you there. So make sure you post in the comments, why did you show up for wealth webinar? Because we want to solve your problem. And by you telling us what you're after, we can then solve the problem much easier. So we'll see you on wealth webinar. And for that, we'll end this episode of What the F Happened with this.